So as someone that works with a lot of different entrepreneurs, because you probably have so many small business because those are your clients. So what is it that you see? Maybe we'll stick to maybe the positive sides here. What are the things that you see that people do that kind of make for like a successful business?
Ooh, have a plan. So the folks that listen, there are some humans in this world that can just wing it and they always land on their feet. And there are also a ton of, my husband is one of those.
Okay,
he lands on his feet, not me. I can't function without like a plan. So when I see someone come in with like a plan that involves like the financial piece and it isn't just like pretty fluff on Canva like that, I can tell that they've thought this through. Or the hockey
stick thing is going to come in. And
it's
like,
because
everyone could do that.
No, right. Like when they talk about their plan and how they're going to execute, it's like music to my ears. Like I already look at this person differently and know that in a year we're going to be actually having a different conversation about like how their life has changed and how they've grown and how they've like, they're laughing at last year's plan now because they crushed it so well versus like, the folks that come in with the plan and they're the same plan every year for 5 years and then they got a job somewhere because the execution piece is lacking.
Okay.
But those people that execute, that just like find a way no matter what. You get knocked down, you get back up, you get knocked down, you get back up. And there's one win for every 50 losses. Those people that like can take it on the chin, they don't just come to my office as an opportunity to vent and hope that I can solve their problems. They want to hear themselves talk about the solutions to their own problems and me non-smile and tell them that everything's going to be okay and they're on their way. It doesn't matter what I say. Those people are the ones that are going to make it. I help them with the numbers. Obviously they don't do tax and whatnot, but they don't need anything I say.
Right.
Those people are monsters.
Yeah. I've been hearing this quite a bit from the people that I've been talking to since, starting this podcast. It was just fantastic because I love to just kind of soak up the knowledge. But this whole idea of execution, it seems to be like everyone's saying this, like, I don't care, even if your idea is not that good, if you can execute on something, you'll find people that'll pay you money or whatever the case may be.
You will. Like I'm branching out, like we're about to do something different, like very different. And I'm working with some different contractors and shit. And like a week or so ago, like there was some conflict between the contractors and how I was managing everything. And eventually I just got to where like, I got to be honest, I could give a fuck about your feelings. You ever text me again on a Friday afternoon about your feelings?
Oh,
about like it like awoke the beast and like my response, my assistant, or I call it, she's not my assistant, she's the manager of everything in the business, but she's like my right hand. She was like, I'm so glad you showed them the teeth stuff because that shit was pissing me off too. Like just nothing was getting done. The whole point is that you're talking to me about your feelings. You haven't delivered shit. I've paid you this much money. I haven't seen a thing. Don't talk to me about your feelings. Show me something and shut me up.
Right.
Like that is genuinely how I feel about it. But like if you're getting paid thousands of dollars to do something, or you think you're worth thousands of dollars and then you don't put anything in front of anybody, you don't deliver, it's not up to you if you're worth thousands of dollars. We're up to the person who's going to pay it.
Yep.
So at this point, to me, you have no value whatsoever. And you're trying to tell me how to act or how you want to be treated. And no, absolutely not. So that to me is such a red flag. Like I know your business is going to stay micro for a very long time, or you're always going to have to work a job and do your business because you're trying to check me or, give me boundaries when you're just starting and you haven't done shit.
Wow.
Like make me need you.
Yeah.
That's how you execute.
Yeah. That's crazy. Can we, are you open to talking kind of about what you're going to be moving on? Okay. But before, we'll just put that on the shelf just for now, because I just want to ask you kind of the opposite question. I mean, I guess it could almost be what you're saying right now, but what are the things that businesses do that that you look at them and like, you know what? Yeah, you're not here in 12 months.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost like I can smell it in 30 seconds of hearing you talk. And when you talk about that you started a business to control your life, to control your hours, to have no boss, to, for it to be easier to work from home, when you started your business for you, instead of started your business out of this passion to do what you do for others, that's where you fucked up. And I would love to say I work 9 to 5. And I probably could, but my earnings would be less. I would have to cut back on my team. I'd have to make a ton of concessions. I wouldn't get to take 10 or 12 trips. I don't even know last year how many places I went. That's a dope ass thing to have, like, to be able to say that, I hopped on a flight whenever I wanted, but I also worked basically every minute of every day. And I never, ever am looking to find where I put the boundaries in. Like, that shit doesn't live in entrepreneur. That's employees and HR departments. You guys work through that shit about boundaries and treatment and all that. You do that over there. But over here, I have however many clients I have, that's how many bosses I have. And however many contracts I take, that determines how many hours I work. And whatever I commit to or promise to deliver, that also determines whether I work nights, overnights, weekends, back shift, all that shit, all the time.
And you decide that.
You decide it, but you take that on. But there's a few startups. I still consider myself like I would say I'm in the scaling space at this point. Like I'm moving out of startup,
you're
moving
in
into
7
scaling.
digits, I think. You're getting to that point.
Fair. Okay. So, but you do and you don't though too, right?
100%.
Because I don't have my systems. I'm not where I want to be. So, when you're still, until you're where you want to be, which I feel like that will always change as I'm growing. I just don't consider myself there. I will do what needs to be done to get to where I want to be. And that's the piece that's missing in the folks that do this because it looks cute on Instagram.
Yeah. So I hope the people that are listening here that, because I know I do talk with lots of wannabe entrepreneurs and people that are just starting out, is that you have to figure out the right reasons for why you're doing something, and to know that it's not going to be easy, and you have to know that you're going to have to work really hard and just really be motivated to provide that value.
It's always hard to talk about that too, because you don't want to come off as like the condescending entrepreneur because I've done this or this, like I know better than you. I just know for sure that I have access to a lot of entrepreneurs, and the ones that are the most successful are the ones that don't talk about nights and weekends and bosses and the cushy piece of thinking that this was going to be easier. It doesn't even come up. We don't ever. No one says, oh, it's 5, we're off. Like, I got 3 text messages from entrepreneurs on Christmas Day, and none of us think about it. Like, one of them sent me hey, thinking about doing this. Like, she's hopped out. I actually texted a contractor because I needed painting done on Boxing Day. Yeah. I was like, you don't have to read this. It's up to you. Yeah. My apologies. I'm an entrepreneur and I got to get it out of my brain when it's come up for me and when I have time. If you want to work tomorrow, I got money for you. And he hit me back immediately.
Oh, especially with a statement like that, for sure.
Yeah. He said, what time should I be there?
Yeah.
He never left me on red and then got back to me after the holidays. Sorry, I was on vacation. No, his ass was there. And I paid him extra, not because he asked me to, but because I respected the hustle. Like, I love that he hit me back.
Yeah. And that's, right? I do remember too, again, the first meeting we ever had was I hit you up, and then we had to get our first meeting. And I'm like, yes, this is my person, because it was on a holiday.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was Remembrance Day, I think. And I'm just like, this is perfect because I'm working, she's working.
You know,
yeah, of course, it's a holiday. It's like, there's no holidays. It's like
the phone doesn't ring those days. Like, those are the best days for meetings. Yeah,
yeah. Or for meetings. So yeah, it's awesome. So no, I love it. So yeah, there's one thing too it's really kind of interesting, because I do follow and watch like these millionaire entrepreneurs or whatever, these gurus, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And
me too.
It's fun. Yeah. So a lot of them say, they talk now like work-life balance, and they're like, oh, I have this balance. The one thing that I find that's maybe disingenuous is they don't talk about how they actually got to where they are. It's like they make their, now I have $100 million. Now I have work-life balance. But did you really have that when you first started? Like,
Impossible.
Let's be real, right? Like, to get to where you are, you were working those 16-hour days, and you were hustling, and you were getting your shit done.
I actually think I don't follow anyone that talks about work-life balance, because I think it's different for everyone.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. And I think that the measure is if you're happy. Because if I work a 15-hour day and I'm like, fuck, I didn't see my kids, I fucked up. Like, I never feel that way. I do what I finish my list, do what I promised everyone I would do, and then I forego the social life. And I go be with my kids the minute I leave the office to the minute I have to go back.
Yeah.
And it's weird the way my kids talk about it. They're like, like they get it. Like they aren't like, they never say, I wish you didn't work so much so you could spend more time with us. They say things like, I like going to Mexico, Mom.
Yeah, no kidding.
Are we going to Mexico? Are we going to see Dad? Are we going to New York at Christmas time? Like, they get that, but I don't go crazy. Like there's time every day for my kids.
Oh, of course.
The weekends with my kids, like I take them to work with me whenever I can. But like there's a piece of me that like I just can't turn off, and I would not be happy if I wasn't doing this. So they get the best version of me because I'm happy at home and I'm happy at work.
While you're there. Yeah. Do you ever get that feeling? I get this all the time where you decide that, oh, you know what? I'm going to take a day and kind of not do anything. And it'll get to like noon. I'm like, this fucking sucks. I need to do stuff. It's like, screw this. I'm just sitting there doing nothing.
People ask me all the time, why do you teach a class every Saturday and Sunday morning at 8 a.m.? I will be up at 5 regardless. So I might as well. And those classes are jam packed because those people are working full time and doing other things.
Is
so
it the same classes?
I'm teaching QuickBooks on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Yeah. And like they're over capacity, both of them. And I have the utmost respect for someone who's going to get up at 8 a.m. But I would not be sleeping in otherwise. So when people are like, you should rest and you should balance, dude, I will just be up doing something else. So I might as well do this. Like then I know I've worked for a little bit of the day, and then I take the rest of the day with my kids, and I feel balanced. I've done some work and I've spent time with my kids. That's balanced to me.
Yeah.
I haven't slept in I don't know, maybe 7 a.m. would be the latest I've slept in 4 or 5 years.
That's great though. If you're consistent with your like nutrition and sleep and stuff is really important to me. But like if you're going to bed at roughly the same time and you wake up at the same time,
I do.
You just have your own rhythm.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. No, I don't do like the 2 a.m. and like if I teach at night, it's over at 9:30. I literally like directly to bed after the fact. But
so you're getting great rest
8
anyways.
Hours. Yeah, I have to. Yeah. No, I sleep, but I don't sleep in.
Yeah. And I think that's a really, that's a really good point right there. And if you're, again, these new entrepreneurs that are just starting out, if you have it in you to be very disciplined, and when you're awake, you're working and you're working with purpose and you're just going towards that goal. You have a plan, right? You're writing it out and you know what you're doing. And then when you have the time with the kids or you're sleeping, then you're just very deliberate in what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And there's plenty of time
I'm
in
never
the day.
like in the dining room with my kids on my laptop. Like if I'm in the dining room, we're like making cookies and whatever, hanging out. Like they love to be served like the house is a restaurant. I'll do that.
That's amazing.
But I don't do the shared, like we have an office in the house. If I'm in the office, they know I'm working. If I'm not in the office, they know I'm theirs.
Yep.
So it's like really deliberate, really specific. I don't do laptop in bed. Very much. I would say like once a month or something.
Yeah,
I'll
if
be
something
like,
is really critical, maybe.
Yeah,
or...
let me just check this, check on this. But I'm not like working everywhere in my house.